Welcome into the live stream here from McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal. That's Tyler.
What it is, sir?
How are you?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm good. We'll get rolling here pretty soon. I got Taylor Moore, professional golfer, going to join. He and Tyler are going to talk about professional golf, and
It's the week, man.
I'm going
it's
to
the week.
I'm going to sit here and listen about professional golf.
We're going to talk hoops too, because he's a big hoops guy, and so we're going to incorporate Augusta and tonight all in one interview. I'm having all kinds of internet issues over here, by the way.
Oh, are you?
I think I'm on the wrong one. I don't know.
Oh yeah, get on Spark.
It does that from time to time because I have the other one, I guess, still on my computer from when. There you go.
We had a power outage over the weekend with the storms, and everything got reset. And I've been resetting things all day.
There he goes. She came up just like a charm. Just like a charm.
There you go,
Neal.
There you go.
Yeah. So, I was over here scrambling. I was like, it's not coming up. Yeah, but Taylor, we'll talk about it because I don't know what he can talk about and what he can't talk about. But I got some questions that I want to ask about Augusta for like the common person. So
Okay.
you will be. This is not we won't get to tell me about the grain on 8. You know, which way is the grain pointing? Where do you want to leave the ball on 8 on the par 5? Do we need to get up to the third level on Saturday when the pin's back? I mean, how do we do this? We won't get into that, but It's so Taylor finished. You know, he won the Valspar. When you win the Valspar, when you win a tournament, you get invited to the Masters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he finished his first year in 23. He finished T39, and then last year finished T20. And he's on the shelf right now. So we'll see if he can or cannot talk about it. I don't know what he can and cannot talk about.
All right, you ready to get rolling?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Because we got some things to do before he gets on here.
Welcome into episode 272 of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal McCready. That's Tyler Siskey here on this Monday, April the 7th. One show this week. This is the only show this week. We'll both be out of town on Thursday at 2 o'clock. So this is the one show this week. We're going to talk, or Tyler's primarily going to talk professional golf with professional golfer Taylor Moore. The Masters starts Thursday in Augusta. So they'll talk.
We will have some content. I can tease this. We will have some content coming everybody's way, probably via social media. We'll have a bunch of content this weekend.
Gotcha.
Coming forward, but we'll just leave it at that. Make
Gotcha.
sure you check out all the social media pages: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter,
Gotcha.
aka X. We'll have fun content coming for the people this weekend.
Gotcha.
So I can say that.
We're brought to you each and every show by Rain Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams, natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits, achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more.
Neal, I'm rocking with the Kiwi blend today. I don't know what it is. I went through this tropical phase, and I'm on the Kiwi blend now. I'm going phasey here. I haven't started TikTok yet. They're probably going, "Where's the show?" We'll get it in just a second. But going with the Kiwi blend today. I'll see Bob on Thursday. I'll spend the weekend with Bob, so looking forward to talking to Bob this weekend and all the great people over at Monster. My phone is just blowing up right now with people that have questions. I've gotten 14 questions in the last 36 seconds about Taylor. For people who have my phone number, appreciate the hell out of that. Remind everybody the Cooper Chevrolet chat is already bumping. Right now, it's Chevy Truck Month all month long. Make sure you can go get your best offers right now for a brand new truck at Cooper Chevrolet. All day Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it doesn't matter. Call our good friends at Cooper Chevrolet at area code 256-236-4481. That's 256-236-4481. It doesn't matter. Right now, they got offers on the Chevrolets, on Buicks, on GMC SUVs. It doesn't matter. If you need a Buick, a GMC, a Chevy, a Hyundai, it doesn't matter. Buick, it doesn't matter. Make sure you give our good friends at Cooper Chevrolet a call. Again, at area code 256-236-4481. Just talk to Greg and all of our friends at Cooper Chevrolet. They're taking care of us a little bit there for the Talladega trip coming up here in a few. I will update you after the show there, Neal. But yes, they will be taking care of us, making sure our trip is very comfortable there at Talladega here in a few weeks. Neal, I'm gonna go ahead and knock out 2 right here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Since with Taylor going, we can do this thing at the end. Remind everybody, the official, speaking of Talladega, Rob is coming to Talladega from County Line Campers. He's bringing up a fifth wheel. We're actually going to do some shows. We got everything. We're starting to get things organized, Neal. I'm starting to feel really good about this trip. Our good friend Rob is bringing a County Line camper to Talladega. We got the RV spots secured. We got the RVs coming. County Line Campers bringing an RV to Talladega to do shows from. Rob and Miss Destiny are coming up for Talladega, but spring has sprung, and so has the 2025 camping season at County Line Campers in Gulfport, right off I-10, exit 38 in Gulfport, Mississippi. You can save thousands with deals like a brand new east to west Mercedes diesel Class C motorhome right now for $87,995. If you don't know the weight of your truck and how much you can tow, check out their tow guide located right there on their website, or better yet, give them a call. And we'll show you the best camper options that will fit your needs. Even more, we even have more campers that can be towed by most SUVs. And make sure you don't forget, because we got Easter coming up, Neal. We got Easter coming up. Mm-hmm. And make sure remember the reason for the season. And before you go, make sure you check and make sure you do all your homework. And they wanted me to get this message out there because their actual mascot is a bunny. And they actually have 2 rescues there at the dealership there. So make sure you get all of that stuff educated before you go and get your child an Easter bunny for Christmas. For Easter. And when you think about camping, think about County Line Campers. All right, Neal, one more real quick before we get started. I just pulled it up. My guy Trav sent me a brand new reader. Check this out. Spring is in the air, and so is a perfect time to upgrade your ride. At Kia of Meridian, we've got the coolest whips and the coolest people to help you drive off in style. Whether you're looking for a fuel-efficient K4, a spectacular Telluride, or something sporty like the K5, we've got it all at prices that make you say, let's roll. Don't let tariffs scare you away from Kia of Meridian. I knew you would like that one. Our fan favorites are built right here in the brand spanking, and matter of fact, in Georgia, I learned this the other day. They're built in the USA. With interest rates as low as 1.9% on select models, come see us at Kia Meridian, where spring savings are in full bloom. And don't forget to mention McCready and Siskey so you can spin the wheel and win awesome prizes like a PS5, an Xbox, a TV, and more right there at Kia of Meridian. How about that?
How about that?
Brother, I was sitting there. You should have seen what I got going on over here. Well, I'm kind of low-key impressed.
I've got 3 or 4 things happening right now, too.
I'm borderline impressed with what's going on right now on these computers. There's smoke coming off these Macs right now.
I'm getting bombarded with questions about stuff.
Questions and answers that you don't have?
Yeah, I don't know the answers to the questions. So I'm having to take the questions and then go ask the questions of other people.
I know how that goes. You're just playing messenger.
Basically.
I love it. All right, before Taylor gets on here, well, we got a few seconds to kill before Taylor gets on here. I told Neal yesterday, I got to spend my whole Saturday or my whole Sunday at the baseball, 9U baseball, the Oxford Royals in action. The Oxford Royals winning 3 in a row yesterday to win the championship of the silver bracket. So congratulations to the Oxford Royals for finishing 9th. And yes, they got rings.
Rings for 9th?
Yes, sir. Silver bracket. Let's go. So I did have a few icks yesterday. I actually tweeted one of them yesterday. I get there it's 9 in the morning. I'm tired. It's Sunday. I'm cranky. It's raining. It's cold. I don't like to be cold. And we're sitting there, and the opposing team yesterday, Neal, is blasting 50 Cent in the club with the adult lyrics. The adult lyrics, talking about smoking and talking about I ain't into having sex. I'm into making love. I mean, the full giddy up. And I'm sitting here looking around, and me and Travis, one of the parents, or me and him are the only ones like looking around like, are we the only ones that is hearing this right now? Like, and everybody's on their phones, drinking their coffee. And I'm like, what are we doing? So that was one. And then here's my ick yesterday. The Royals are in the silver bracket.
Who sings what's the name of the song?
50 Cent. In the Club. In the Club. INDACLUB.
Apparently there's a song called Up in the Club also.
Oh, okay. 50 Cent. 50 Cent. 50 Cent.
50 Cent in the Club lyrics.
Yeah, go ahead, Neal. Give us the. Can you rap them? See if you can.
I will not rap them.
Let's go. So what you got?
It starts with go, 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 shawty. It's your birthday.
We gonna party like it's your birthday.
We're gonna sip Bacardi
like it's your birthday.
And you know,
and we don't give a fuck if it's your birthday.
I was trying to get through 5 minutes.
Oh, my bad.
You can find me in the club, bottle full of bub. Look, mommy.
Got what you need.
I got the X if you into taking drugs. I'm into having sex. I ain't into making love. So come give me a hug if you into getting rubbed. You can find me in the club, bottle full of bub. Look, mommy, I got the X. You into taking drugs? Then he repeats the rest. He says, when I pull up out front, you see the Benz on dubs. When I roll 20 deep, it's 29s in the club. I'm not really sure what that means. A word that I can't say. Heard I blank with Dre. Now they want to show me love. When you sell like Eminem, then the hoes, they want to blank. Look, homie, ain't nothing changed. Hose down, G's up. I see exhibit in the cut. Hey, another word I cannot say. Roll that weed up. If you watch how I move.
We're getting blanked on that one. Go ahead.
Oh, you'll mistake me for a player or pimp. Been hit with a few shells, but I don't walk with a limp. In the hood in L.A., they say in 50, you hot. They like me, I want them to love me like they love Pac. But holla in New York.
All right, that's good.
Yeah, another word I can't say. Tell you I'm loco.
I knew it was coming.
And the plan is to put the rap game in a chokehold.
So that was my first ick yesterday, and me and Travis are the only
That's
two
a
people.
little much for 9:30 on a Wednesday.
Hey, I'm just sitting here looking around like, what is going on? And I'm the only one looking. So that was ick 1. Ick 2 was our own team. Okay? Our own team. I'd like to apologize to the Saltillo Storm. I'd like to apologize to the Saltillo Storm. I would. On behalf of the Oxford Royals, okay, I would like to apologize to the Saltillo Storm because in the big championship game, who got 10th and who got 9th in the big championship game in the silver bracket yesterday, we may or may not have had a coach up six, and we're the home team in the bottom half of whatever inning that was, that called the 9-year-old out of the box to tell them to take some pitches and delay so we don't have to play another inning.
Oh, come on.
So I'm on behalf of the Oxford Royals, I would like to apologize to the Saltillo Storm. My little nugget got up to bat, and somebody tried to tell him to take some time, and I yelled at him to hit because he is struggling. He needs at bats. He needs to hit and get better. Not really worried about the 30-cent ring that they're getting for the weekend for finishing 9th in the whatever crazy name that my man Clay comes up with for the weekend. So yeah, on behalf of the Oxford Royals, I'd like to apologize for the Bush League actions that we took as the Oxford Royals playing in the game to determine between 10th place and 9th place in the 9U tournament yesterday that took place in Oxford, Mississippi. So I apologize on behalf of the Oxford Royals. We're better than that. We are better than that. We are better than that. We got to learn to be better than that. So yeah, we can't do that. So that was my icks. That was two. I got more, but I'm going to leave it there.
Okay.
So, but yeah, those were two that just, I was like, what are we doing? It was cold. Yeah. So that's all we're going to do. So, come up here in a minute. Taylor Moore, for those that don't know, Taylor Moore will be joining us here shortly, like probably the next 60 seconds. I'll text him and tell him that we're ready when he is. But yeah, that was what I did all day yesterday. How about that?
That's crazy.
What would you have said, seriously, if you had heard that rap song? Would you have said anything?
Yeah, I would have said this is a little much for, probably would have referred to I always like to quote Bull Durham when he says, when Crash says to Susan Sarandon's character,
what a great movie.
Isn't this a little much for the Southern League? I would have said, isn't this a little much for the Southern League, and hope that maybe someone sort of picked up that maybe, just maybe, this is inappropriate.
Yeah.
On a Sunday morning or on any morning.
Any morning, much less
a
Sunday morning. Like we just had, we go to church across the street, and so we didn't get to go to church yesterday because of the games. And so I felt like I was driving by church. I was missing something. I was feeling a little holy. We got Easter coming up, and then there you go. So that's how it goes.
All right,
You're gonna
do a little work.
do a little work. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, joining us right now. Neal is on all of the ones and twos right now. There he is, joining us right
What's
now.
up?
The man, the myth, the legend, the pride of Fayetteville, Arkansas, the hog of all hogs, aka from Texas, Taylor, PGA professional Taylor Moore. Welcome to the show, my friend.
What's up, boys? How are you? Thanks for the first tee intro. I needed that after a couple weeks off. So
I know
thank you.
we need to. Have you ever had? This is off topic. Have you ever had like a first tee intro, like when you go to the tournament, that somebody just went a little extra or mispronounced your name, which is your name's probably hard to mispronounce. But you would be surprised. Some of these guys just butcher things. Have you ever just been completely butchered on a tee box?
Yeah, I've been in Canada right out of school. I had a few Tyler Moores in there. Yeah, a little accent. So that was yeah, I was about the only one.
Did you like even giggle, laugh, or did you lock in and you took off?
Oh no, yeah, that was I had a couple laughs for sure.
Love it.
I had some good ones up there.
I'm so glad that you came on. I know you texted me last week. That's awesome. I want to start with this before we get to your status. I guess right now we'll get to that next. I was curious. I was thinking about this weekend, like some things I wanted to ask you, like from a fan standpoint, like what's some things that fans want to know about PGA, playing PGA? Like at what age did you find out did you figure out like, man, I'm pretty good at golf. Like I got a chance to like do this instead of just being the casual person playing golf. Like what age did you feel like you arrived?
Yeah, it's probably like 14, 15, like freshman, sophomore year of high school. I was like, I think I could do this, at the next level, and then, hopefully progress and play it professionally one day. But I was playing both, baseball and golf up until kind of that point of freshman year of high school, and then once I quit baseball and put kind of everything into golf, I started taking some strides and realized I was pretty good at it.
All right, so you can obviously you hit bombs off the tee. That's your jam. Off the tee game is jam. Like, could you hit bombs in baseball too? Were you quick twitch and hitting bombs from the plate?
Dude, no, not really. I was such a small kid. I didn't have my growth spurt till like probably junior year of high school, honestly. So I was small, just second base, shortstop, good fielder, base hit. Hit in the gaps kind of guy. I didn't really hit too many bombs, unfortunately, but I probably would have liked to try once I got some strength in my growth spurt later in high school. Might have been pretty fun to go back and try, but never did.
It's Dave Van Horn's loss, man.
Dude, I know.
I mean,
number one team in the land right now, I think.
Just think if they're number one right now. Think where they'd be if they had you. I mean, they'd be number.
Your NIL contribution would have doubled.
I don't want that.
I'm just good to see. I'm glad to see all of my NIL going to winning right now. Just
actual winning.
I mean, I give it to Florida basketball. Boom, here we are tonight. I give it to Arkansas baseball. Boom, number one in the country.
I love it.
People should be nicer to me.
All you do is donate to winners.
No,
your money creates it.
I donate, then they start winning. It's cause and effect. It's not, hey, jump in, throw to winning. I mean,
Neal. I was a little up in the air,
and all of a sudden they start winning. I mean,
yeah, I was a little up in the air on who I was going to bet on tonight, but I didn't know you were a donor to Florida basketball, so I think I'm going to have to go that way. Right?
Earlier, he feels good about it. We feel good about the situation.
Yeah. I'm going. We're going to get to hoops in a minute because you got to give me a pick before we get off this thing.
I gave a little extra to Walter Clayton Jr. and you see the rest.
I have a futures bet at plus 900 that I did. I don't know. Was it February, 1st February when I did it? That I'm just inclined to. I think instead of hedging, I'm just doubling down tonight. But yeah, I'm emotionally involved right now. All right, so I don't know what you can or can't talk about. I really don't understand the rules of the PGA Tour on what y'all can and can't talk about. Can you talk about why you're on the shelf? Can you talk about that? Or is that something that okay?
Yeah, for sure. No, we're all good.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But yeah, no, I'm all good. got a little stress fracture in the ribs on the side. Happened Tuesday with Houston. Was just warming up, going through my normal, practice round prep, if you will, and hit a few balls on the range, and starting to get some like cramping in my left side. Thought it would kind of go away. Went out to go play a few holes and just continued got worse and worse. So I shut it down. Try to get some treatment. Rest for a couple days. That way I could be good to go for Thursday. And yeah, unfortunately wasn't able to play the last couple weeks, but feeling much better now. And hopefully keep progressing this week during practice. I'm gonna start swinging this afternoon actually. So down and try to get myself ready for next week.
All right, so for the fans that don't know, because like I got like, did you cut one loose on the tee box, or was it something just swinging a wedge or something? What was the?
Yeah, it was kind of later in my warm up, so probably as I started to add some speed and get going before I was gonna go out and play a few holes. So yeah, it sucks. I was pretty fast too, right when I was doing it. I was like, yeah, 123 club too, right before I kind of felt the intense cramping. So yeah, super unfortunate. Honestly, happy is just kind of a couple week deal it looks like, and I'll be able to get back at it here shortly. But that was a tough 24 hours for me. That was a WD, and then watched my Razorbacks lose a heartbreaker to
All right.
Texas Tech after being up.
I feel real bad about that. He said it's fixed in the chat. I feel real bad about hell out of the Razorbacks on that night, because we were texting back and forth, and I said they're going to win this game because
Yeah, that was an early call.
That was an early call, and I put the jinx all over 'em. And so I felt a little bit bad. I was waiting on you to tell me I'm a little bad luck on you, but it didn't happen. All right, let's talk about Augusta. I know this is my favorite week of the year when it comes to golf, obviously. So when you first go, okay, so you win the Valspar in 23. When you first go, what is like, and you get there and you've played, you T39 your first one, then T20 last year. What is the coolest thing about Augusta that the fans don't have any idea about? So you're a player, you go there. What's something cool that you've experienced, or something you're like, man, I bet if the fans knew we got this, or whatever it is? What's something cool about Augusta that doesn't happen anywhere else?
Man, that's a great question. I think just driving in for the first time, going down Magnolia Lane as a player is pretty cool. Like that was obviously, in 23 after I won Valspar, that was my first taste at it. I'd never been to Augusta up until that point. So, I was first time driving down Magnolia Lane, about to go play for, my first round out there. Was pretty special. Obviously, seeing all the caddies in the white suits for the first time, bunch of green grass everywhere. It's pretty cool experience. I would say like maybe some fans don't necessarily realize is like our locker room and setup is just the members locker room, and it's essentially right by the first tee, and everything we do practice wise for the week, they built this incredible like tournament only practice area, and it is quite a high, it's like golf cart right away. So just trying to be able to balance and figure out your bearings for the first time is a little bit like a little bit tricky because you don't know where anything's at, if you haven't been there before. But after a couple cracks at it, I have a little bit better feel.
So that when you first got did they like the first time you show up, do you feel like they're like questioning you when you come on the property, or did you have? I mean, I know you have credentials, but did they? I'm sure they're checking those
Well,
credentials pretty tight.
oh yeah, first time. Well, I hadn't been on property to get my credentials yet. So like, I had a tournament courtesy car, and like you roll up, like, hey, Taylor Moore checking in, and they it's about the highest security level entrance I've ever been in. They have these they're like kind of traffic cones but white, and they go under the street and drop. So you pull up to the gate, they're there, you talk to, gentlemen, say your name, whatever, and they're like, all right, he's good. They just drop down underground instead of like a gate that lifts. It's like insane.
Yeah, you're not
And then
getting.
you're obviously all yeah, then you're awed by the trees of Magnolia Lane, which is a cool experience for sure.
All right. So one question I had, I was trying to think of, again, things that fans will know. So I did learn this, and I don't know if Neal knows this or not, but like the numbers on the caddy that the caddies wear on their bibs, everybody's got a number, and they put the number next to your score. You know, when you go to tee up,
Mhm.
that's the order that you show up to sign in.
Right.
Uh,
I didn't realize that till about halfway through my first tournament. Like, what's this number next to my name? My caddy's like, "Are you serious?"
yeah, you didn't know that?
No,
You
I
such a good
mean,
kid. How about that?
yeah, I had no idea.
What was your number? What was your number the first year?
I got there pretty early. I think I was 14, 16 or 14.
And then what about last year? You remember last year?
No,
No.
I was later. I got
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So a question I had. All right, you win the Valspar, and so Neal, they had like he had to win to get in, right? So
Yep.
he wins the Valspar, and that was just a few weeks before Augusta. Okay, so lodging in Augusta, Georgia, per sources, is very difficult to obtain at a short period of time. Like, so you win the
Correct.
Valspar, and you got like what 2 weeks? Was that 2 weeks or 2 3 weeks maybe before
Yeah,
Augusta?
3 weeks.
So what do you do, or how do you get lodging for Augusta on that short notice?
Yeah, I was a little tricky. We ended up just luckily finding a huge house to kind of help, everybody that wanted to come, families and close friends and age and all that stuff. So we ended up finding something probably about a week after I won Valspar, kind of just by chance, just asking around. There's different rental companies, few Airbnb options, all that stuff. But like, it's a pretty. I mean, you definitely want to be more prepared than we were, but luckily we were able to find something, um, a couple weeks before and got a great house for the week. It was a nice setup and kind of had everybody under one roof, which was also a learning experience. I'd say there's a lot of people under one roof on a pretty high stress week. So,
Were some of
but
those
yeah,
people, I imagine, obviously, some of those people probably haven't been with you during a week of a tournament to know your process and to leave you alone and all that stuff. And
yeah, some for sure, and it was a first time there for pretty much everybody. So we all were, like I said, it's kind of a learning experience, but it's a lot of fun and. Um, they make quite a bit of money on those homes there that week too. They're not
oh,
they're not cheap.
dude,
I
dude,
mean, stands to
Yeah,
reason, right? If you're running a Airbnb in Augusta, the week or so
yeah,
before the Masters is probably the Super Bowl.
yeah. That is better than the Super Bowl for them, I'm sure.
Yeah.
yeah, I couldn't. I went last year with Bob, and we're at the Champions Retreat. Is where we stayed, and I think
Nice.
there were some players staying there. I could never really you could never I didn't
Hmm.
because you couldn't see them, but you knew that there was a shuttle to pick them up. Like I saw golf clubs being put. You know, I couldn't read the name on them, but I saw several people leaving for tee times. I think some people
Yeah.
over there. But all right, it's Thursday. You've played in a bunch of golf tournaments. It's Thursday, 2023. You go to the tee box, and do you
Hmm.
feel? I mean, look, I don't know. Like it's so weird for I guess the casual golfer because nobody is at the tee box when you tee off but your buddies. And so when you guys go tee off, it doesn't matter where you're teeing off the Valspar. If you're teeing off at the Waste Management, it doesn't matter. There's more people in one event that's probably seen anybody else tee off. So you're kind of used to that week in, week out. But when you go to Augusta on that Thursday, do you feel extra nerves or anything different on that first tee box on Thursday, the first time ever?
Yeah, absolutely. I think anybody that says they don't, I mean, that's such a stretch. I feel like everybody kind of does. I'll tell you a funny story about that too, actually. So, first round Thursday, 23. It's downwind off the left, so it's like honestly, it's probably not driver. It's a perfect 3-wood. So my caddy's like, "Hey, we got down off the left here." Like he's trying to get me locked in, and he's like, "I think it's perfect 3-wood. Kind of stay short of that bunker." And I said, "Bud," I said, "I'm hitting driver because it's the biggest club in my bag, and I just want to make contact." I said, "I'm not hitting 3-wood on my first tee ball at Augusta. I don't care where the wind is."
You're just gonna grip it and rip
So
it.
yeah, I mean, you're just so. I mean, obviously nervous, excited, all of it. And I hit it about 30 yards left of the middle of the fairway, actually closer to like nine. Like because 9 and 1 kind of go down. But anyway, I think I ended up making par, but it was definitely not a 3-wood my first time there.
All right, so I sent Taylor a screenshot so he knows this. I've changed his name in my phone contact list to Taylor Big Nuts Moore instead of just Taylor Moore. I've changed it to Taylor Big Nuts Moore
There
because
we go.
my man had was it about what I can't remember what tournaments it was like 2 weeks ago, about a month ago.
Probably a month ago, Honda, right? Or Cognizant.
Yeah, Cognizant. My man went back to back weeks where he had to have birdie to make the cut, and he stuck on one of the par fives. The first week was a par five. He had to get a birdie to make the cut, and he hit was it a 5-wood you hit or 3-wood you hit?
3-wood.
Yeah, 3-wood. He hit it, and he was pissed because they were showing him coming in, and he was pissed, and I was like, oh shit, and then it went about 40 feet. It was on the green, and I was like, but he ends up making 2 5 to 10 foot birdie putts to make the cut. And so the normal fan, you don't understand that, but that's how they get paid. If he misses that cut, he gets $0.00 for the week. And so back to back weeks, birdie and coming down. I'm assuming you knew on both of those times that you had to have birdie to make the cut.
The first week I was in the morning, I believe, so I didn't necessarily know exactly where I was going to be. But the second week in Florida at the Cognizant, yeah, I knew I needed that one for sure.
I just couldn't imagine it's like just a little bit of
Yeah, it's good.
a little bit of pressure. So now his name has been changed to Taylor Big Nuts in my phone list. All right, favorite hole to play at Augusta.
That's probably what Dave Van Horn would have called him.
Yes,
had he been their second baseman, he would have called him
Big Nuts more.
Dude, it would have been so fun. I'll get to your questions. My senior year, I didn't have many classes on campus. Had a lot of online. That was kind of when online was becoming a thing, and I just remember being able to practice in the morning, golf practice in the morning, and then I would go watch baseball practice every afternoon, like sit in the dugout with a guy, just hang out and watch. And I had so much fun doing that. I love baseball. It was so fun for me.
You would have been you should have been able to. You should have got him to let you just sit in the bullpen, be a bullpen guy. You know what I mean?
I've been sick. Yeah. Or I'll shag DP in the outfield. Like I just want to be out there.
That would have been great.
It's sick.
Neal
Yeah, it would have been a lot of fun.
Extra check for your NIL money. We could have got that.
Could have made it work.
Could have made it work.
I could have just called Dave and said, "Hey, Dave, listen, Taylor wants
we
to
got like
today."
We got like $12 a day my senior year for food, and we thought we hit the lottery.
Well, they're not. Hey, I don't know if you've seen lately. They're getting $12 a millisecond these days.
Yeah, correct. No, I watched you guys enough to hear about what they're getting. I'm like, are you kidding me? Insane.
Neal's gonna have hair before this thing's over with. It's not slowing down. All right, no. favorite hole to play at Augusta. When you line it, you're like, dude, this is my favorite hole. Season, I love it. What's your favorite hole?
I love 13, the par 5. First par 5 on the back nine's such a great golf hole. And you're coming off obviously 12 there too, which is one of the most iconic par 3s in golf. But like, I like 13 a lot. It's cool too because that's your first time away from the fans. Like,
yeah, you're up in that
right. You kind of you take the walk back. It's so quiet, surreal, and you can kind of do what you need to do, get yourself ready to finish off the round. But like, I like 13 a lot. I think it's a great golf hole.
All right, so do you bring out the big stick, or are you trying to draw the 3-wood around the corner?
That one's actually wind dependent for sure. With how it's shaped now and where they move the tee box, sometimes if you're kind of in the morning or the wind's into you there, you got to hit driver and hit it out right. And then you kind of playing it a little bit of a 3-shot hole now. But if I can, yeah, I mean, with my shape, I can draw both those clubs. So like, just depending on wind, I'll try to cut off as much as I can.
That was the thing that, for me, last year was the first time I'd ever been, and you have this visual in your head before you get there of what the course, you understand, like, it's the only golf course I've ever been to that I knew every hole, I knew everything, but I've never been there. And it's when you finally get there in person, just the layout it's so much more undulation. Obviously, it's more hilly than anybody ever tell you. And then, like what you're talking about, like with 13, you're back there. So you're basically, you walk up the side of the 13th fairway to get to Amen's corner. Like, it's like you never can get on the other, by the tee box on 13,
Correct.
behind 11, 12, all that stuff. You got to stay on that front side. So it's kind of, when you start seeing the layout in your head, it's kind of, and you don't realize, no matter how many times you've seen the balls hit the fairway and roll back down towards the creek, you don't realize how hilly the fairway is. I mean, is there ever a flat lie in that place? I mean,
No, not many. Yeah, the par three tee box is about about as good as you're gonna get.
all
But
right,
no, like from the fairway, yeah, there's nothing really, man. That's part of the beauty of that place too. And I don't think fans realize that like no approach shots go exactly the same direction. So like you're always constantly kind of, even if you feel like, oh, this is going, south. I played this direction. It's still turned a little bit. So the way they built it, it's always constantly turning a little bit just to throw you off if the wind's swirling, especially on that back nine.
had a great question from the chat. This is from your mom. How about that? That's a great username. Your mom.
Yeah, there we go.
Is the 18th tee shot as tight as it looks on TV?
Yes. Yes, it is. It is. It is very. Um, I yeah, I can't really describe like at that height what the width is, but it's I think too the thing is for a righty, like the trees on the left feel like they're closer than the ones on the right. So like you're over it and you're looking up and you can kind of just feel the presence of the left ones a little bit more. Um, but yeah, it's a really tight tee shot.
Is you just aim at the traps and cut it loose and hit it with a little fade? Is that your play, or what are we doing?
Yeah, yeah, and honestly, that one, that one downwind's probably three wood, just so you stay short of them for sure. Because I think that's the hardest part actually about Augusta. If you do drive it in the bunkers or you're in the bunkers by the green, they are very deep. Like number one looks like, oh, if I'm just in the middle of that bunker, it's okay. But the how deep it is, it's like you can't see the pin, you can't see anything. Like they're so far down there,
And if you miss your spot on the green, you're gone. You're done, right?
gone.
Yeah.
There's so much slope. Like it's probably the most rewarding and most penalizing approach to green course we play, which obviously you guys watch it too. It's kind of what makes it what it is.
All right. The most difficult hole at Augusta is for you.
I would say a combo of 4 and 5.
Okay.
Number 4 is just such yeah, 4 actually because of where it's at in the round 2, it's kind of early, and when they put it all the way back, it's 240 par 3. The landing area is actually very, very small. Um, and both bunkers, like I said, are very deep. And I mean, it's a little bit depending on pin position, but I've always kind of struggled with 4 from all the way back, trying to figure out where the best place to play from is because it's difficult to hit that green. You're playing for that front left section. Um, and if you're a little bit right or left, depending on the pin, it's really hard to make 3. And then 5 is just a very tricky green to hit into. You have a longer club in unless you're Aldrich Potgieter, who I played with there my first year and flew both of those bunkers like it was nothing. He had pitching wedge in and I had 3 iron in, which was fun. But
Yeah.
it's just a challenging green complex. There's that big ridge, in the front part. If you don't quite carry it, the ball rolls all the way back to the front right portion there, and then you have a very tricky lag putt up and over to any section on that green. So I'd say one of those two for me are the most difficult.
All right. You win the Valspar. Got 3 weeks before the Augusta. When was the first time you got to play Augusta? Like, was it, I mean, for real? Like, you got to go out there and play 18
Yeah,
holes at Augusta. When was the first time?
was Sunday before the tournament. So I didn't have a special special trip out there. I didn't really have enough time because I was playing, and then I did take the week off before, but you know, I wanted to kind of treat it as much as I could because my life was a little bit hectic at that moment. Winning for the first time, I was just trying to take it as another week, on tour and another week, to get myself ready to compete. And so my first time out there ever was Sunday before tournament week.
All right, we got a question in the chat from my guy Bob. That's a guy from Monster Energy. He's got a question for you. I'm assuming you've played the Blessings in Fayetteville.
Oh yeah.
He said he wants to know what is your lowest score at the Blessings.
Prior to the redo that they did for the national championship in 2019, I shot 63 out there. That was, I think, course record at the time. Five birdies, 2 eagles. I'd played that place so much though from the time I was 16 years old until I was done there. So, but they did redo it.
I think Neal tied your record. I think one time, right, Neal?
What's that?
Neal's like, when are we talking Thunder? When is the Thunder basketball talk?
I don't. All I hear is like a landing spot. I'm like, no, I'm out. Completely out. My idea of a landing spot is just somewhere on the course.
Somewhere where you can find it next.
Yeah, I hear deep bunkers, and I'm like, yeah, so I would get in the deep bunker and just never get out. I'm not sure. In all seriousness, if you put me at Augusta with a professional caddy, I'm not sure I could shoot 2,000.
2,000. No, we
totally
could get you in the house under 2,000.
We can get you under 2,000.
I don't think I could break 2,000. It would be the longest. Here's what I could.
Well, if this was any other course but Augusta, we could probably try to do it for content. I don't think they would be down with that. No, but any other course, we probably figure this out.
It would be the longest round in Augusta history. Have you ever been to Augusta? I'd be like, you have no idea.
Yeah, it's been a full day out there, guys.
The way he's describing the course, I couldn't break 2,000.
Yes, you could.
No, it would take me 100 shots on the first hole.
You could putt it to 2. You could use a putter and get there under 2,000.
I don't know. You'd eventually have to putt the ball into the hole. At some point, the ball.
I think I could get you. I think I could get you around there at 200. We could get 200.
No chance.
Look at there.
No chance in hell. No chance. Because then with the penalties and everything, when it's out of bounds, it's like, okay, that's 6 strokes. And you're like, wait, what? I don't understand the rules.
What? Yeah.
I hit a ball.
That's what Taylor's there.
I hit a ball and it went out of bounds, and they're like, okay, well, this is your 4th shot or your 3rd shot or your 8th shot.
Stroking distance.
I was like, well, yeah, never mind.
Hey, Tyler, what hole at Augusta surprised you the most, like seeing it in person? Because we like obviously watch them all on TV before you get out there in person.
Yeah, the two that two things surprised me about Augusta the most. From a hole perspective, 10. Okay, when we went into when Bob and I went, we came in. I don't know. People know the entrances. I think it's the front entrance. It's the one that comes in the fairway at 1. So I'm assuming that was the front entrance. All right, we went around, and then Bob and I made our way to the 10th green. Okay, and we saw, the first time I saw 10 was from the 10th green, from like the hill right there. When I looked up, it looked like they were hitting it off of Mars. The drop off from the tee box, it's like you see it on TV. You see everybody hit the 3-wood, the high draw, hit the speed slot, and it goes down there. And it's downhill. But it literally looked like they were hitting it from the moon. Like it was so far up there. That kind of was, I was like, I couldn't believe it. And then the other thing that was interesting to me was when you watch it on TV and you see them finish 1, they tee off on 2. They do such a good job on TV with camera angles to where it's like you feel like you must have walked 10 miles from the 1 green to the 2 tee box. And same thing with like 16 and 17 being so close, and how on TV you never see a concession stand, you never see the restrooms or anything like that on TV, but they're right there. Like they do this camera angle thing to where everything's perfect. And so that was probably and there's no pine cone.
Yeah, it's impressive.
There's 1 gazillion pine trees, not 1 pine cone on the ground. You can't find a pine cone.
Not allowed.
The little pollen drop things.
I don't remember seeing those, but I didn't look for them either. Okay. I will look for them for you this time, but I did not. Everything was just like there were people on every single hole that if somebody dropped a piece of trash, people were going to pick them up, and it's just immaculate. I've said this, and I'll always say it. If our country ran like Augusta National, brother, or the Dow Jones would be 4.6 million today. I mean, it's the most beautifully ran place I've ever seen in my life. It's Everything about it is awesome. I mean,
Does it feel weird in this, because the world we're in right now, everyone uses a phone constantly? Like I was watching.
Yes.
I was watching. What was I watching the other day? Oh yeah, the end of the Duke Houston game, and every person that you saw was filming.
Right.
Do you even notice the lack of phones at Augusta?
Yeah. No, yeah, we definitely feel a difference. That's one thing I've talked about too before is like you can feel the people actually watching you hit a golf shot and taking in what you do versus just having their phone out. And it's kind of refreshing in a way. It's just such a unique experience because we don't get obviously tournaments like that anymore with no phones. So it's yeah, you can feel a difference, I think, for sure.
Are the people drunker or less drunk than your normal?
I think if anybody gets close to crossing the line there, they get removed from the premises so fast that they don't even have the ability.
That
I haven't seen
scared.
like
I was scared to like literally because they will take your badge and they will revoke you. I mean, dude, these people
yeah,
don't
you're
play.
done.
Like, let me tell you something.
And you're not like done for the day, you're done
You're
for
done
your
for life.
life. Like you're not coming back.
And so the point of the drill we're trying to make here is if we could make the people who are in charge of Augusta National in charge of our borders, dude, this place would be rocking right now. There wouldn't be anybody, excuse me, were you born in the vicinity of and if you're out of here. I mean, I'm talking about like they don't play. And so you're scared to death because beers are like $1.50, boss. It's the cheapest place ever. I can give you $10 and you can eat all day and drink all day. It's the greatest.
Yeah, that's all the sandwich options too that you guys like at the concession have. That's like our locker room. We have all those in this fridge too. So like we're all up there trying them out too, which is pretty funny. Got a bunch of tour players up there just hammering club sandwiches. Like,
well, it's so cheap that you hear about the pimento cheese. Even if you don't like pimento cheese, you're gonna buy one because it's so cheap just to try it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Are you a big pimento cheese person?
I used to hate it.
Yeah.
I've gotten to where I like it a little bit more.
As a kid, I loved it, and as I've gotten older, I don't like it nearly as much.
Just the opposite for me. I mean, I'm not like an expert or anything, but like I like it on a hamburger. I'm down. It's good. It's good stuff.
Are you a pimento cheese person, Taylor?
I could take it or leave it. I hopefully it grows on me, but I'm not the biggest fan of it.
All right, so he kind of teed me up with the phone thing. All right, so I noticed this last year is I felt there's a lot of people that are famous that are there, and it's like they're more interactive and amongst the people because there's not the phones there. People taking pictures, asking for pictures and things like that. Have you ever, even if it's not Augusta, if it's somewhere else, have you ever had like oh shit, there's like a starstruck moment when you've looked in the gallery and there's been like, oh shit, there's Michael Jordan or somewhere like that, like Michael Phelps was famously standing right behind the 16 tee box or anything like that? Have you ever had one of those on tour?
I've had some other athletes there, which has been pretty cool, but never like, damn, like I think the only one that I have was actually at Augusta. Donald Trump Jr. was there, and I was like, that's kind of tight. Like he's out just hanging out with his boy. Like that one to me was like just a little different because it wasn't like typical athlete or somebody that I would necessarily know. So I thought that one was pretty cool.
Being a pro athlete, are you sort of immune to starstruck with other athletes?
Other athletes, I would say so. I'm trying to think of who I've like met or been around that yeah, I mean, other athletes, I would probably say so. Unless it was Michael Jordan. I haven't met him yet. Somebody like who I probably would. I mean, I was the first time I met Tiger. I met him at Riviera in the locker room for the first time my rookie year. That was like a holy shit. Like he's like, "Hey Taylor, like great playing so far." I was like, "What?" Like you watched me play golf? Like, that one was pretty cool.
You're like, can I record that real quick? And you say,
yeah, can we do this again? No, I think the only one I would, just because I was such a fan of his growing up, was Derek Jeter. Like, I just love the way he played. I wasn't like a Yankees fan per se, but I think that would be the next one that I'd be like, damn, that was pretty cool.
There's all right, so here's a good one that kind of goes along with that a little bit. All right, so let's say you go to Augusta, and I know everybody knows you're going, or it could be any event. Do you ever go like to the merch tent at these places, or they have separate kind of hours maybe for you or separate things? What do you, if somebody wants you to get them an Augusta shirt, or you go, if you're playing at
Yeah.
St. Jude's, like what do y'all do for that?
Yeah, I've been in a few for sure. Mostly the majors. I'll go get some for myself at the majors, and then definitely Augusta. Obviously trying to get as much as we can for family and friends. So there is at Augusta. There's the Augusta National Golf Shop, which only players and members have access to. So if
Uh,
you see the ANGC logo, that came from
that's
the
that
Augusta National Golf Shop,
that's that
which
high dollar golf
yeah,
shop.
that's pretty high dollar. There's some exclusive stuff in there, which is pretty cool. And then they have the big Masters like merchandise area, which I've been in that one too. And like we don't get like special hours, I don't think, or anything. They might let players in like 30 minutes before the crowds get in on certain days. I heard, but I haven't experienced that. But yeah, I've been in
So,
there amongst all the fans, and it's
so
a
when
it's
you,
a crazy experience in
dude,
there.
I will tell you right now, if
It is
the
unreal.
Augusta club where you get the gear and stuff,
Yeah.
I'm talking about the most well ran.
How organized is that place, dude? It is
Neal,
unbelievable.
I can't overemphasize. Like if I go to a
Yeah.
rack and I go, okay, so they have some things on a rack, but most things they have like on display, right? And this is huge long thing. You got shirts in one, you got hats over here, and it's like this big
Yeah.
circle. And you'll go and say, I would like a number 26 in a large or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they do have some rack stuff, right? I went and got a quarter zip off the rack. And before I turned around and I was looking for Bob because we were going to meet. And I was looking. I turned around and a lady had already replaced my size with the thing
Wow.
with a hanger. And you go and you stand this
It's like Chick-fil-A on steroids.
It really is okay. And
It is. It is.
you go to check out. You go to you go to check out, and there's like a pre-checkout, and they take all your stuff. They take all the hangers off, and they have everything nice and folded up. And they're like, beep, 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 and you're gone. And then right next door, you get out of that line and you go get in another line. And I think UPS did it, which got to figure out why FedEx Cup. But anyway, you go in there, you hand them your ID, and it was at my doorstep on Tuesday when I got back. They ship it back to you. So
It is so whoever runs and organizes that, if there is a college football program that needs organizational help,
go.
they should make a phone call, and all of your stuff, your scheduling, your calendar, all your stuff would be so organized. It is unbelievable.
All right, we're having a debate on the thread, and I want truth here. Don't give me some pro golf bullshit spin. All right. I don't need a bunch of propaganda from you right now. Are the bird noises real? Are there real birds? Do you see birds chirping, or are they piping that in?
Man,
look at you already. My God. Can't even.
I'm trying to decide. No, I'm trying to decide if I should tell you.
If you answer that truth, they're going to take you off the tour. Yeah, unbelievable.
No, I'll tell you. So that first round I played Sunday, after I won basketball and qualified, like I just wanted to play Augusta, like basically no yardage book, just play and take it all in. And so we actually we play number 10, and then we get to 11, and we see a crew, few workers, and they're just sending black wire up these trees up by the green. I look at my caddy, my tour caddy was there, but also I had to have Augusta National. I'm like, "What's that?" He goes, "It's what you think it is."
Oh,
so
wow. See, that's why
that's my answer.
This is why I went to grad school at Louisiana Monroe, to learn how to ask the really hard questions and to badger people like Taylor and finally telling the truth. Do you feel better now that it's off your shoulders? See, you feel better.
Yeah, I'm going to sleep really good tonight, Neal. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I did not see a bird, a squirrel. I didn't see anything.
Nothing.
There's a follow-up question here that's quite sinister, because there's a lot of trees, and where you have a lot of trees, you typically have birds and squirrels. What do they do? The birds and squirrels like San Francisco did?
I want to know.
Before the convention, when San Francisco took all the homeless and they just disappeared.
Dude, I was playing. Dude, last year there's a part of a tree that fell. I was on 16 green, and 17 tees really close, like you mentioned, and there's a tree right around there. This massive branch fell off. By the time I was in the fairway and looked back, gone. Like, I'm talking minutes. Like, and this wasn't just like a stick that my dog could pick up. I mean, this was like
Chainsaws in the whole
it
deal.
was, yeah, gone, chopped up in carts, gone. And like, so you see the clips of like the mowers doing the fairways, like after coverage of the day or whatever. Well, they have tennis balls on the top right of every cart, and if the like mower in front of them starts leaking or something, they throw the tennis ball. Everybody stops, cuts their machines. People watching come in, cut the piece of grass out that has like a little oil leak on it, cut it out, new sod down. All right, back at it. Like it is
Like it's
insane.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah,
it's
it's pretty cool.
it literally, somebody said in the chat, it's Disneyland type of perfection. That's Bob said that. I mean, it really is.
Right.
It actually is better than Disney World. Like it's that type of.
I was gonna say I've read some stuff about Snow White here lately. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Not sure how perfect.
I don't know. Both places got those tunnels too. It's a little sketchy. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. So when you go back, I want to ask you this. When you ever go outside the ropes, like if you go to the merch tent or anything like that, do people recognize you, or do they just kind of are they in their own world? And they don't even recognize that a golfer is in there with them. Do you ever get recognized?
My first year, not really when I went in there, and then I had a few more. Say good luck, Taylor. But dude, the thing about Augusta that's different. Like if I go to merch tent, like you said, St. Jude or something, might have a few people say hi or take a picture or whatever. But like at Augusta, just the golf fan like respect level is so elevated. Like not gonna bother me or anybody else, any other player that's in there. Just gonna let us do our deal, say good luck, and kind of move on. Like it's just a different level of, I would say, golf respect, golf etiquette at that place.
Yes. Just All right. So let's talk about Augusta itself. I want to ask you this question as a guy that may or may not be wagering on it, and a guy that may or may not be playing fantasy on it. All right. Do you feel, as a golfer, Augusta is a more course history type of golf course, or more of a current form type of golf course?
Yeah, I would say Augusta more than anywhere is going to be off course history because you have guys that have played just well there who are not in good form going in. And then you have guys like, it seemed like every time Charlie Hoffman played, he was leading after the first round and he could have been playing like crap leading up. Like, I think it's a little bit more course history and how guys, you know, have played there over the course of time. Um, for guys that do have experience there. Now, I would say probably more form related for guys that don't have more than like 4 or 5, tournaments of that or, times they played there.
All right, just if I was asking a fantasy question, I was just asking a fantasy question. How many?
Yeah, Akshay Bhatia for a little dark horse.
Oh, Akshay. Let me take this. Akshay.
Yeah, I think he's gonna play great. I like his game a lot.
Oh, that's
He's impressed me the couple of times I've played with him.
I thought that was like some sort of
no, he's
mind cleansing thing that you do.
He does
get
have
ready to play.
All right.
What are you doing right now? I'm doing Akshay Bhatia. See?
All right. So when it comes to so with Akshay, that was my next question. Who are the guys that you've played with beside Akshay that you think, and this guy's in like really good form right now? Guys that may not be winning right now or whatever, but guys that you go, man, this guy's really in good form, and you can tell this guy's. It's just a matter of time. Who's in really good form right now in your opinion?
Yeah, I play with God, that's a good question. Well, I've had 2 weeks off, dude. I haven't seen my guys out there. I've been at home, at home in the putting studio trying to figure it out. But I think a guy that probably didn't play well like into last year or early this year, but I like Wyndham Clark too. He bombs it. I think he's starting to find his game a little bit. Um, he's always been one that's impressed me. Just how he plays, and then he hasn't played great either as of late, but I like Sam Burns. Sam Burns, every time I play with him, I feel like shoots like 65.
All right. Sam does me really good. I mean, really, like every time I think again, I jinx him. Yeah, just no Diddy all over. Every time I play Sam Burns in
Good
fantasy,
job, Sam.
I mean, every time he doesn't play well, and then I don't play him, and he goes low. So it's one of those things that I'm like,
Yeah,
maybe he doesn't want to be.
Maybe
in
he
your
doesn't want to be on my
fantasies
fantasy,
anymore.
or maybe
it's
that's
tough.
that's probably what it is.
That's probably it.
All right. All right. So let's talk. I got a question. I got to ask this. If you can't talk about it, tell me to kick rocks. Okay. I want to ask about the Live PGA thing. I got two questions, and you can tell me, you can answer this however you want to. You can skirt around the question, whatever. I don't know what you can and can't talk about.
Oh, I saw this the other day. PGA turned down a whole bunch of money because they were gonna have to accept Live as an entity.
So
and they're like, no, we can't do that. Even if it's $1.5 billion.
Yeah, Taylor would probably know more than I do.
Yeah, he's like, no, I'm like,
no, y'all. No, y'all probably know more than I know.
Like,
I get all my stuff from like Twitter.
Disappeared more. By the way, we've solved the problem. They took the birds and the squirrels. They're playing at Augusta Country Club right now.
All right. Do you see a day, or do you think it's possible that a PGA Live merger is coming back, or do you think it's ways down the road?
I think it's a lot further down the road than people might think, even with media and the discussions of these. Like after the last couple of years have gone by and we haven't done anything, it's just like what player on either tour wants this? Like, I don't know if any guys on PGA Tour are like, yeah, we want this. And there's only maybe 2 or 3 guys on that tour that were like, yeah, I would definitely want to play a PGA Tour again. Like, there's just not many guys from either tour that would want this to necessarily happen. Now, I don't think it's going to stay the way it is, but I also, I think Live's going to be Live and the tour is going to be the tour for, maybe a couple more years, and then they're going to find a way to, play a few team tournaments and have those top players from Live play a few signature events and potentially majors. But like, other than that, I don't really see like a ton of crossover play where we're like basically
together
2 tours in one, right? Like, I just don't ever see that happening.
Do you, and this was the question that I had is, as we're getting, years are passing, right? Do you think there's going to be some Live guys that once their contracts, all right, and then probably the second part of this question is, are they going to be welcome back? But guys whose initial Live contracts are going to be up, either want to come back to the PGA or be allowed to come back to the PGA. I know those are two probably different questions.
Yeah.
Do you think that will happen?
I think the tour is going to take all those, like any player that potentially wants to come back, they're going to take it such case by case basis. I'd have to imagine. Like, there's probably so many factors that are going to go into those decisions, and like probably something that I'm not even aware of, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know. I would say there's definitely a couple players that the PGA Tour would want back. The frustrating part for me, and probably you guys as well, like as a fan of the game, I just want to see the best players play against each other more often. And like, if that's a couple of guys from Live, great. But like,
I would be very selective. I wish the PGA Tour let me pick them. I will take Brooksy back. We'll take Joaquin Neiman, John Rahm, and Bryson, and I think we can do 5 and just call it a day. I think I could pick 5 and just call it
100%. And I think every tour player would honestly be perfectly content with that and be like, let's do that and let's be done with it and let's get back to playing golf and competing.
Am I crazy for me like sprinkling a little bit on Joaquin Neiman? Am I crazy if I want to do that?
Not at all, but like, go look at his major championship history. And I love Joaquin. Like, he's a stud, but like one of the hottest players in the world. We'll see. I hope he plays great. And he's not a bad pick at all.
All right.
But he hasn't done it yet. Like, Bryson's done it. Brooks has done it. Like, if you're gonna go with somebody from Live, like, I would probably go with the guys.
I'm going with Brooksy. I don't care if he stunk it up this past weekend or not. That dude.
Yeah,
he's got big nuts too.
I was just about to say that I played with him at the PGA last year at Valhalla. Dude, it is right at every pin. Like, does not give a shit. I'm going right at it. Like, it is awesome.
Yeah, and just I like Brooks. I'm good. All right, before we get you out of here, we got to shift a little bit of basketball before we get you out of here. Okay. I know how much basketball, first of all, how much basketball since you've been on the shelf for 2 weeks, have you been able to watch much of the tournament?
A lot, yeah. Watched a lot of it.
All right, tonight we got.
How long did it take you to get over the Texas Tech game?
more longer than I anticipated. That one hurt, dude. I hated that. And then they did the same thing when they played. Like Texas Tech basically did the same thing. I'm
Yeah.
like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And then I had Duke money line in a little 4-teamer gag. I'm like, what is going on?
I was did you go to sleep or did you see the ending of the Duke game?
We were back. We were nowhere close to sleep. I did see the end, and
I can't tell you how many people.
I can't tell you how bad that foul call was.
I can't tell you how many people thought that
So bad.
Sunday at the baseball deal. There was like 4 people that were like, "Who you got between Florida and Duke?" And I was like, "Well, Duke didn't win." They're like, "Huh?" They just went to sleep or turned off. I mean, dude.
It was crazy. Have you seen Neal? Have you seen the other angle of the Cooper flag call? Like where it'd be coming at him, like instead of right behind him, looking at his back, like looking at his
and
stomach.
on that one, you can see the official is watching it. He was waiting to call that call.
Yeah, but to me, it's even more blatant that it wasn't a foul. He didn't push or jump or do anything. He stuck his left arm out and flicked the ball up. So bad.
And Houston got the rebound anyway. You have to let that go play.
Yeah.
You have to let that go play. You cannot make that call right there.
No.
I'm not Mr. Duke. I don't care. I didn't care who won. I don't care. For the record, I had Florida and Houston in the final. I mean, if you cared about my bracket, and I didn't even care about my damn bracket. So if you cared about my bracket, get help. But I mean, I kind of wanted Houston to win because I'd be able to go, I picked it. But
yeah,
I felt like cheated right there. It was like at the end of the Arkansas-Texas Tech game. That's not a jump ball in a split second.
No.
Oh, that was bad. That was terrible.
He's either going to take the ball early, or it's a foul.
Well, both of them are anticipation calls in both cases.
Yeah, and so you're not supposed to do that. And
that is the beautiful thing about golf, boys. I got no referees or umpires deciding how my shit's going to go.
You're exactly right. It is. I do think that's one of the things, even though it's not a sport that I've played or whatever, but you're right. There's nobody. If you win, you won. And if you don't win, you typically have no one really to, quote, blame, end quote, than yourself. Somebody that's just better than you that day. Boy, when you see.
Well, the thing, can I play devil's advocate here? The thing that I guess I get, not justification is not the right word, but they also didn't score a field goal in the last 10 minutes.
They didn't.
You know what I mean? So like they had it. They shouldn't have been an issue.
No,
that's crazy.
But it's why if you're watching that game, always as a writer, if you tell me, hey, what's the one thing you don't want to happen in this game that you have to write about? I will say the same thing every time. Besides, can we kick off at 11 a.m.? My next question is there any way that this game cannot come down to a call?
Yeah.
Just if someone wants to hit a shot, someone wants to make some phenomenal throw and catch, whatever, hit a home run, cool. Please don't let it come down to a controversial call. I hate that because as a journalist, you can't win. Can't win. And so it was my only complaint with that game was, wow, you call at the end of a physical game, you call that?
And then I'm assuming, I don't even know this, different crew, right, than the first game?
Yeah.
Dude, the first game,
different.
The Auburn Florida game, they beat the hell out of each other.
How about
the hell out of each other?
I didn't get to see much of that game, but it looked like one of those AAU games where the referees are like, I ain't calling shit.
They didn't call shit.
They didn't.
The whole bench could have been fouled out at halftime. They beat the hell out of each other. Dudes are going to the hoop. I'm talking about just, and it got to where players will adjust and they will play as like people were driving to the rim, and it was like full on tackle football at the rim. No call. I mean, just no.
That dude got mauled at half court.
I mean, they were just getting, just murdered. Yeah. And they were not calling it. And you look up and like, you're expecting both teams to be in the bonus at like the 10-minute mark. Brother, there was like 4 minutes to go and both teams had like 3 fouls. I mean, you had to drop kick somebody to get called a foul. I mean, it was just, you had to be so egregious that they just couldn't let it go. I mean, and then you watch that game and that call gets fouled.
Yeah.
You did feel a little like, come on. Man.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, but hey, speaking of, you missed a fun event here in Northeast Mississippi, Taylor. I'm glad you were watching from Texas. We had a little. We had a meteorologist that decided he wanted to go viral on Saturday night, and I'm sure you saw this or heard about it.
I saw parts of it. I was pretty busy during the first game.
I haven't seen this.
All right, so we had tornadoes fired up, rolling through, right? Oh, and literally and like an hour before tip. And so on CBS channel, I'm assuming is that guy out of Memphis?
Yeah. I think
okay.
So,
yeah. And I went to the links of like making sure I went to Paramount Plus. I went all these places. I did figure out that the March Madness app did not have him on there. But if you went to Paramount Plus, YouTube TV, it didn't matter. This guy's on there. And so this guy,
it was his one shining moment.
It was his one shining moment. And
come on.
It became I was getting angry. My wife was going, "Why are you getting so upset?" I was like, "This guy, I understand what you got to do. I'm not even mad." But this guy started like lecturing people on why the tournament wasn't on. And so he's like, "We're going to put it in a box. You're just going to hear my voice. You're not going to hear you're just going to hear me, and we're going to be in the small box." And I'm like, "Cool. I understand. I'm scared to death of tornadoes. Cool. What I'm not cool with is this dude went on a 2.5 hour long broadcast, no commercials, went on a 2.5 hour broadcast where he spent more time. This is not a joke. He spent more time yelling at people that's not even, he can't even see responding about why we're showing weather than he did about covering the tornado. And I'm like literally
so bad.
It was like, guys, I understand. This is not a joke. Guys, I understand that you can't hear the broadcast. I understand that we're in the small box, but we have people that have died in the last week. We take this very seriously. And so while the broadcast is up and the tornadoes are here, we're going to cover the tornadoes. And they'd be like, "Hey, there's a tornado coming for Dumas, Mississippi." And by the way, when it's in a commercial break, it'll come back. He spent all this time. I was going like, shut the fuck up and just talk about the weather. It was driving me nuts. It really was.
That's rough.
I came this close. I got on Twitter and I saw Jeffrey said something. I came really close to joining Jeffrey in the Twitterverse until I opened up the comments and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not. It's not worth it."
He got lit up.
Oh, everybody! It was him, and then what's my guy from the guy that does the Augusta thing?
Chris Vernon.
Chris Vernon. They were getting lit up by people in the comments. I was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna choose peace tonight." I didn't feel it. You know, sometimes like I feel it on your board. You know, I didn't feel it.
You know,
night.
My Twitter account is almost disappointing these days because I've muted so many people that now I feel like I'm just kind of alone. But it's nice. I don't have as much violence anymore.
Yeah, I mean, but you missed that. So that was there was no.
Yeah, that's it. That sounds intense, brother. I'm glad I missed that one.
Yeah, it was very.
Speaking of, where's our boy AJ at? Is he just dodging me now?
I will see.
What's he doing?
We will. I'll hit you up off air. I will see AJ this week. I will see AJ.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I'll see AJ this week.
Love that.
I'll hit you up off air. But
yeah.
It's springtime. He's a 3-time world champ. He's got he's rolling. He started at a real estate company, so he's got his real estate company going.
There you go.
He's got more baseball practice than a baseball practice can go. But he will be. He's going to come. He's going to be at Talladega. I'll see him this week.
Sweet.
He's he's selectively back in the fold. Depending. That's how my guy is. You text him.
Yeah, I get it.
If you text AJ, you may not get a response for 6 weeks. And then all of a sudden, he will pick up the conversation that you were having 6 weeks ago like you were just having it. He's one of those that has 14,000 unread text
messages. Yeah, we all got a few of those, right?
Yeah. So he's really good at that.
That's funny. I was gonna ask Neal real quick before I go. Are you concerned at all about the Thunder dropping a couple in a row, or?
I'm not concerned that they dropped them. I don't like the way that they've dropped them. The Houston game bugged me a little bit, but then I was like, you know, Thunder don't typically play great down there anyway. Houston's playing for a lot. Thunder have nothing to play for, blah, blah, blah. But there were some things in the game yesterday that I found disturbing.
Yeah, I didn't like how that went either. Because we could play both of those teams, right? In the playoffs?
Yeah.
At some point? Like,
my hope is that the Lakers, because I don't I don't fear the Warriors the way I fear the Lakers. I know the Warriors are really good. I get it, Steph, and he can make it from half court, blah, blah, blah. The Lakers, when they shoot the ball well, and they shot it really well yesterday, when they shoot the ball well, they're terrifying. They're terrifying.
Yeah, they really are.
Because Austin Reeves does not get enough credit for how good he is. And Dorian Finney-Smith is perfect for that team. He just stands in the corner. You have to help on Luka. You have to help on LeBron. And they just pass it out to him, and he catches it, goes in.
I know.
And, they're not going to shoot 55% from three night in and night out. And the Thunder are not going to switch everyone the way they did yesterday, where you end up with Isaiah Hartenstein on Luka one-on-one. They're not going to do that. Daignault didn't.
Right.
He didn't win 60-something games by being that bad of a coach. That was the giveaway yesterday that, hey, we're just playing vanilla. We're not showing them anything. And, so I'll be curious to watch tomorrow night. Same two teams.
Mm-hmm.
Do they?
Where is it?
It's back in Oklahoma City. It was really what was interesting yesterday was not – it was just the schematics. The Thunder defensively were bad, and they're normally really good, and they weren't showing anything. Like they were just straight switch. Switch 1 through 5 no matter what. And the Lakers were like, oh, you're switching everything. We'll just set two screens, get Doncic onto Hartenstein, and then he'll ISO him and hit a three and flip off the crowd and do all the stuff that Luka does.
Dude, they're still.
It was a little worrisome. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. They're still pissed off about it here in Dallas, dude. They cannot get over the Luka thing.
I can't imagine.
It is bad.
I can't imagine.
I got some members at my club that are down bad right now, and I'm like, "Hey guys, Stars are playing good. Let's go watch the Star."
Can you imagine being a Mavericks fan and you've got 25-year-old Luka Doncic, and you just give him away?
Yeah, it's
Merry Christmas, LA.
dude. They might have a 30 for 30 on the trade, like just the trade. What happened?
They absolutely will. By the way, because we'll forget it, you like the NBA too. If you like the NBA, HBO Max, I guess it's just Max now, has done a phenomenal documentary on the Boston Celtics. And so well done. The first part was about the role they played in civil rights. Boston had a lot of racial animus, and the Celtics played a big role in keeping that under control. And then they get into the 80s with Robert Parrish and Larry Bird and Kevin McHale. It's phenomenal. And they just got to and you guys are both too young to remember this. They just got to the Lenny Bias stuff. The episode that comes out tonight is about Len Bias. And it was weird.
So it's week to week?
Yeah. So Len Bias died when I was 16. I remember where I was when I heard it. It's one of those touchstone moments in your life.
Gotcha.
And the documentary was so good. I was on a treadmill. I was walking on a treadmill, had the incline going, and I'm watching this documentary, and it wrapped. The big part of the show on this episode was about that year that they had Bill Walton, and they just ran through the NBA, and they wanted the Lakers, and the Lakers got upset by the Rockets, and then they just kicked the Rockets' ass because Ralph Sampson started a fight, and that fired them up. And they go right into the Len Bias thing. And I was so back into those times that I got like teary-eyed. The very beginning of the Len Bias thing it was a compliment to the documentary how well it's been done. It was phenomenal. I felt like I was back in high school. And the Len Bias thing, how we got – I think they're going to do an incredible job with it. But we're going to be so cheated. But I'll tell you guys the story. I was in Mobile. I was doing radio. And the Len Bias thing has always stuck with me. And out of the blue, I reached out to Len Bias's mom and asked if she'd come on my radio show. She not only came on the radio show, she came on the show and spent more than an hour on the show, took calls. It was incredible. But how much the NBA and that rivalry, the Celtics, the Lakers, everything was set up for the Celtics to basically let Larry Bird hand the torch over to Len Bias. And for people who don't know, Len Bias was the one player in college in the 80s who there were people who were like, he might be better than Jordan. And if he wasn't better than Jordan, he was going to be in the ballpark with Jordan. And he just gone 48 hours after he was drafted. I'll never forget. I was coming home from a baseball practice and it was on the radio, and I couldn't believe it. That Lynn Bias, who you just seen drafted second overall, is dead. 2 days.
What did he die from?
Cocaine overdose.
Where do you play college? Maryland?
Maryland, yeah. Yeah. And that was back in the days when ESPN was, you had ESPN, so you watched a lot of college basketball because it was on, and they showed a lot of Big East and a ton of ACC. And so you knew those North Carolina State, Maryland, Virginia, Georgia Tech type teams. You knew those teams the way that you know SEC teams now, or probably even more so. And Lynn Bias anyways, a tribute to that, because that documentary has been amazing.
I saw it advertised. I have not started watching
Bill
it yet.
Simmons has done it. It's Bill Simmons, and look, I mean, a lot of people don't like Bill Simmons. I personally do. I love a lot of his basketball stuff, but it has been phenomenal.
Awesome. All right, before you get you out of here, who you taking? Well, we got Florida, Houston. Who you got?
I'm gonna take Florida. I'm probably gonna go a little SEC bias, but I'm gonna take Florida. I think that ball's gonna be in Clayton's hands a lot too, as it should be. But
I am biased because I've already got the wager. I'm just going to double down. I think I'm going to load it back up tonight on the money line. So they're a little bit. Yeah. It's weird. Vegas knows what they're doing. Just in case you're curious, Vegas knows exactly.
Yeah, they do.
What they're doing. Here we go, Neal Taylor. The current line is down to 1 point.
Yep.
So Florida is at minus 106. Okay. So -1 at 106. Minus 106. Money line, Florida minus 115. And for the money line for Houston, minus 105. They're getting juice either way.
Yeah.
It's a toss-up game.
They're getting juice either way. Vegas is
a good one.
So that was
a good one.
That you can get them -1 at minus 105. Florida -1 at minus 105. All right, so here's a betting strategy. Do you take Florida minus 105, or you just take the money line at minus 115? If you were taking Florida, what's the play there analytically?
I think just money line, just
just in case.
I don't see the value. I mean, it's a couple bucks on the juice, right? Like, yeah.
All right.
Come on. If we're gonna bet, we're gonna bet. Come on.
Yeah, I'm right. I mean, brother, I've had the best week of betting that I think I've had in years.
I love that.
And so, Major League Baseball Criteria Club coming soon.
Well, you have your futures is on Florida though.
Yeah.
Like your plus 900.
Yeah.
Well, if you do the -1, I guess if they win 70 to 69, you at least push the bet tonight, but you win the other one.
Yeah.
So in your case, it might be better to do the -1, but
I don't know. I'm kind of with you though. I'm just going to win. I just think I'm fisting to load up. So I'm fisting to take some of this week's profits and drop them down. So appreciate the hell out of you, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. It was fun.
And get to feeling better and go back to hitting bombs.
Yeah, I should be able to tee it up next week in Dominican. So I'll get a good week of practice in, and then be able to get after it next week.
When are you heading down to is it Punta Cana? Is that where it's at?
That's right. Yeah, Punta Cana. So I'll head down there Monday and then play there, and then I'll play the New Orleans team events the week after that, Zurich. So that'll be a fun one.
Who are you playing with?
I'm playing with Wyndham Clark this year, so that'll be good.
Let's go.
There's it'll be sick.
Bombs hitting that group, huh?
Yeah. You should. How far is that from you? You should come over one day and watch that. That'd be sick.
Hey, dude, don't put it past me. I will be at St. Jude, so I'll see you there for sure. But yeah, depends on what week it is. If that's Neal's,
yeah.
When is New Orleans? When is Zurich?
That is. Let me look real quick. It's in 2 weeks, so. Let's see, 21st is the Monday, so it'd be 24th through 27th of April.
Yeah, that's the Talladega trip. So we'll be in Dega. But yes, I will.
Yeah,
we're gonna get it worked out. I'll be watching anyway. But appreciate the hell of you,
Sounds
brother.
Good. See you, Taylor. Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Y'all have a good rest of your day. We'll talk to you soon.
Go Gators.
See you later.
That was Taylor Moore, PGA Tour professional. Appreciate the hell out of his time. That's awesome. I mean, you don't get if he was playing this week, if he wasn't hurt, we wouldn't be able to get him. So that's freaking awesome. Getting a little background there too. Augusta, little hoops and all that good stuff there. So appreciate the hell out of him for doing that.
Pay a few bills here real quick.
Yep.
We don't have any life advice, but if we did, it would be brought to you by Cole Walter, State Farm Insurance, Cole licensed in auto, home, life, health, business, pet insurance for the whole state of Georgia. You can contact him at 706-525-7850. You can also find him online, colewaltersinsurance.com. Guys, if you're wanting out of corporate America, you're looking for your next business venture, if you're interested in learning about buying a business or a franchise, Andy Ludicky can help. He's a longtime Rivals board member, diehard college football fan, franchise veteran. Andy will work with you to help you find a franchise or business that fits your DNA. He's an awesome guy. Loves to help other guys learn about his process and his services, which, by the way, are 100% free. It's a no-brainer for those of you wanting to get into business ownership. He also is a big college baseball fan, so if your team's Ole Miss, Alabama, Auburn, Florida, Tennessee, Arkansas, whatever the case may be, he will donate between $500 and $1,000 to your college baseball's NIL, just for doing business with him. So call Andy, great guy, tons of business experience to lean on through the process. It's Andy at myperfectfranchise.net or 404-973-9901. We're also brought to you by Parish Brewing Company, located in the heart of Cajun country in Broussard, Louisiana. Their simple goal is to make awesome craft brewed beer. They've got a new double IPA out. It's a specialty beer. I tried one the other day. Fantastic. Wherever you get your beer, look for Parish Brewing Company, Dr. Juice, Ghost in the Machine, Envy, Cane Break, and more. Great products. You'll absolutely love it. Wherever you look for beer, look for Parish Brewing Company. And we are brought to you by Easy. Easy is a vitamin-infused sparkling water. It's a guilt-free alcohol alternative. It's a natural way to relax and unwind. It's all natural, real fruit, no added sugar, low calorie, gluten-free. One 12-ounce can of Easy has 3 milligrams of vitamins. With Easy, it's easy to avoid the gummy scare that you normally get from gummy vitamins. You can control your experience. So change the can, not the ritual. It's easy. Visit Easy to view the Easy Finder to find Easy near you. It's Farm Bill compliant with vitamins that are derived from THC CBD extracts. It's Easy is for people 21 and older. Enjoy responsibly.
We're also brought to you by our good friends at Kia of Meridian. Spring is in the air. That's why we're talking about Augusta. Spring is in the air. That's when you know it's officially spring. And it's the perfect time to upgrade your ride. At Kia of Meridian, we've got the coolest whips and the coolest people to help you drive off in style. Whether you're looking for the fuel-efficient K4, a spacious Telluride, or something sporty like the K5, we've got it all. All at prices that will make you say, let's roll. Don't let the tariffs scare you away from Kia Meridian, because our fan favorites are built right here in the US of A. With interest rates as low as 1.9 on select models, fresh deals, friendly faces, and fun rides. Come see us at Kia Meridian, where spring savings are in full bloom. And don't forget, if you mention McCready and Siskey when you buy the new ride, you get to spin the wheel and win awesome prizes like a PS5, an Xbox, a TV, and more. We're also brought to you by our good friends at County Line Campers, right there off exit 38 I-10 in Gulfport, Mississippi. Open 7 days a week. Spring has sprung, and so has the 2025 camping season at County Line Campers right there in Gulfport, Mississippi. Did you miss the RV show? No big deal. The manufacturers and finance companies have extended the spring RV show incentives through the month of April. You can get a brand new Primetime Crusader rear living fifth wheel now for only $32,995. The fifth wheel that Rob is bringing up to Talladega is unbelievable. So I can't wait for everybody to stop by and see it when we're in Talladega. If you need repairs, don't go to a big chain dealer where your RV will sit for months in service. Instead, come see our good friends at County Line Campers if you need your RV serviced. And they hold the lowest repair cycle time of any dealer in the entire state of Mississippi. Don't forget, it's Easter. Remember the reason for the season. Before you go and get a bunny for your little one, make sure you do all your research there. And don't forget, anytime you think about camping, think about County Line Campers. How about that?
Real quick, we'll touch this fast, and then we're getting out. looking at Ross Dellinger's Twitter line if you want to go in and dig deeper yourself.
Would you like me to burn the match? I didn't bring it up today. Are you proud of me?
This is interesting.
Okay, go ahead.
Basically, Judge Claudia Wilkin is, according to Ross, not interested in entertaining many objections. For example, Title IX, rev share, cap, etc. Aside from one, the fact that future athletes are bound to the settlement. I've always said that was going to be a problem. 2, roster limits. She's suggesting a phase-in. And perhaps 3, third-party NIL regulations. Wilkin today, in the morning sessions, hearings going on as we speak.
Yeah.
Suggested a phase-in for roster limits. She suggested collective bargaining is a better way to establish a compensation cap, but that's not part of the House case.
Nope.
So she's not diving into that. Her biggest issue in the settlement, it seems, is binding future athletes to a 10-year deal. It's because you can't. She's not leaning towards blessing the NCAA's current rules as part of settlement approval. She's talked positively about the high number of athletes who have filed claims for the back pay. Today, Livy Dunn on a Zoom call, the LSU gymnast. You know her from a lot of her advertisements out there, most especially Vori, the clothing line. Livy Dunn said the settlement uses old logic to calculate modern value. Your Honor, I ask the settlement not to be approved as it stands. We deserve more than an estimate of back pay. We deserve to be compensated at the value we deserve. She is specifically objecting to the back pay distribution, 90% to men, and that her back pay projection was much lower than her actual NIL earnings. There is just a world of problems. A world of problems.
Go ahead. I say
with this settlement.
I do want to go on record and let you. I did not bring this up today.
I just, as we wrap, I would just like to point out that I've spent
too much time.
So much time of my life over the last several months talking about something that's never going to happen. I would have been better off in all those times just lighting fire. I like looking at fire. I'm not like a pyrotechnician.
That's scary.
I just like to look at it. It's very pretty. See, I'd have been better off doing that.
It don't start a fire over here.
Totally avoidable, this whole thing. Yeah.
My like I told somebody on live today, when it gets done, I'll go back and read it. I've said what I'm going to say and talked about what I'm going to talk about in this. Nobody knows what's going to come out of it. I don't. We'll see.
She's very clearly showing the people that there's not going to be some stark, at a minimum, there's not going to be some stark, oh God, demarcation. This was this way on Tuesday, but on Wednesday, it's a whole new world.
Yeah,
It's not happening. There's no body to enforce that. It's chaos. It's going to be more chaos, but essentially it's going to be, I know nobody believes this, pay whatever the hell you want to pay. Do whatever you want to do. Just do it. And, you know, I tell people, everybody keeps saying this is unsustainable. This is unsustainable. This is unsustainable. This is unsustainable. And I'm like, look, I get what you're saying. And logically, it is absolutely unsustainable. But so far, in fairness to the people who are out there going, this is the greatest thing ever, not only has it been sustained, everything's thriving in the two sports that people pay attention to. Everything is thriving.
I don't know. I guess where my legal confusion comes in is if how much, like, I'm sure she can, but if going to what you're piggybacking what you're saying, if the rev share, because that's a new part, right? To what the schools can pay.
Mm-hmm.
If the schools can pay and the collective can pay, we're starting all over again.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like
yes.
we're like when you said, it's not sustainable, all that stuff. Brother, we're going to be years before we get to that. There will be another 2 years before the price increases get to outdo that.
Yes.
Because now you're adding, this is, again, schools are different,
Mm-hmm.
but most schools, that's adding another $13.5 million to the piggy bank that you either had or you didn't have.
Yes.
So now we're influxing more money into it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just.
So why would the players agree to
they shouldn't.
They won't.
Yeah.
So why would anybody that's labor agree to a a system that limits their earnings.
They shouldn't.
When they don't get to bargain it, they won't.
Yeah,
and she is essentially saying, hey, as a judge, I don't think Claudia Wilkin really gives a shit who wins tonight.
She doesn't.
I think she's looking at this from a legal standpoint going, I don't really think that's going to hold up. I'm limiting. There's some kid out there today who's 8 years old who is signing into this deal, opting into this deal as an 8-year-old. Well, he doesn't know today that he's going to be a great basketball player.
That is correct.
So it doesn't work.
No. I just don't know. Like the actual questions I have is like, okay, if you throw that out, like, does the whole case get thrown out? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, or is there pieces that she can enforce? I don't know.
Oh, there's parts of things I think are quasi enforceable, but they're getting.
My whole deal is make all the money you want to. I would like at some point in time, whenever that is, 10 years from now, 100 years from now, if it may never happen, it would be awesome if you could reach some kind of collective bargaining down the road, because this is going to happen through collective bargaining. Well, there's actual enforceable contracts for both sides. That's it.
Sure.
That's all I ask for.
Sure.
I don't make all the money you want to make.
Sure.
Would be awesome and everybody's like, my biggest thing has always been under the NCAA issues. My biggest thing has always been, I don't care how much they get paid. I think they should get paid. I'm not a fan of free. I think the biggest issue we have in college athletics, period. You can argue me till you're blue in the face. The biggest issue that we have in college athletics is unrestricted free agency every single year. Period.
100%.
And then for the people who say, well, it's not fair. It's not fair, little Johnny, that he can't go play next year. The coaches can get up and leave every single time that they want to leave. Yes, but there's a financial penalty. It's a broken contract. There are enforceable contracts. There's a financial penalty that's paid to the other institution.
But we're skipping. Here's the part
So
that
just
we're
have
skipping.
contracts.
And we'll stop right here. We're skipping on the part that this model was never built for this.
No, it's an amateur model that's
It was
trying to run
amateur,
a professional
it was
organization.
an amateur model that was built to enhance the experience of a student athlete. It then led to, as football got bigger and basketball got bigger, it was scholarships. Kids got to go to school for free. You got an education for free. Then the coaches started making a whole bunch of money, and you're like, hey, the players deserve a share of this. And you're like, okay, well, let's do NIL, which is designed to reward successful players, right? It is when you're the quarterback at Alabama or Tennessee or Texas or whatever, and every little kid in the stands is wearing your jersey, you should get a cut of that.
Mm-hmm.
And if a car dealership wants to give you a couple $1,000s to say, hey, I drive a Smith Ford, you should too.
Yep.
But we went past that. And not only did we go past that, we jumped that shark like right away. Right away. And now you got a kid from UCF who's going to go play basketball in the SEC for $3 million. I mean, and good for him, but let's not pretend that the model was built for this. And it's the only reason why I say when everyone criticizes the administration at all these places and everyone criticizes the NCAA is you don't want to talk about the fact that this is not what the model was designed for. What has become is professional sports, except you're still trying to jam professional sports into an amateur model, and it doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
So if you want to make it amateur sports, well, then go form the minor leagues and let college athletics go back to being what it was, or kill it all and start over. But the old model doesn't work with this system. It just doesn't work. And it's obvious that it doesn't work, except for this. Everyone says it's unsustainable, and through 2 or 3 years, it's really sustainable. Now, nobody seems to really care, and maybe the day comes where people go, this is stupid. But we're not there yet. We're not there yet. People aren't saying this is stupid. They're getting great ratings. The stands are full. The kids are all getting millions. The coaches are still making millions. Everybody basically is pretty happy. Now, there are programs down the stream that they're paying for it now. And if you are a fan of a basketball program that back in the day was a mid-major that might make a run, you're not.
I think those days are over.
Those days are over. Your team's never making a run, but those people still go to the games. And look, when you go to the Summit Conference tournament, everybody still cheers. Everybody goes crazy when they win.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not as convinced as everybody else that this is unsustainable, because so far it's not only being sustained, it's thriving.
Yeah, that doesn't matter what until this goes through or whatever goes through, because I think, again, my confusion is I don't know, can half of it go through? Can this go through? I don't know. I'm just, like I said, I'm almost glad today is here, to be honest with you. I'm glad today is here, so I can always say, well, let's wait and see.
Yeah. Because
it's been a long couple weeks.
Speaking of, we'll be back next week with another edition of McCready and Siskey. Enjoy the games. The game tonight, end of the tournament. It's April now. It's not March anymore.
We will have I will reach out. If you're the winner, I need you to screenshot your tournament. We basically got it down to where if Florida wins, we got one guy that's going to win. Let me pull this up real quick for the tournament challenge, and I will reach out to you as over the next few weeks. So if Florida wins, we'll have a winner. If Houston wins, we'll have a winner. We're not going to have a tie. Okay. So we're down that far. I'm going to pull this up while you got anything else, any more bills to pay?
No.
All right, let me let your internet do her thing. Here we go. All right, so in the bracket, in the McCready and Siskey bracket challenge, it looks like Bobby Brooks, if Florida wins, will be the winner. If Houston wins, it looks like it's going to be, how do you say that? I don't know, Taylor X Brink or something like that, long name. But we'll have, if Houston wins, we'll have a winner. If Florida wins, we'll have a winner. So, and when that happens, we'll give you $100 cash and then your hoodie of choice out of the McCready and Siskey merch shop.
Have a great week. Talk to you guys next week. Bye.